What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Jess. I'm back. I am so sorry. This is the best I can do, to be honest with you guys. I really try to get these videos out. What we're gonna dive into today is the very interesting phenomenon of the craziness, the notch, the level of crazy that lesbians can take things to. I've been there, you've all been there, we've all been there, sadly, and I just wanted to share some of these stories because the way that you guys anonymously threw these stories at my inbox, I honestly was a little scared. We just need more awareness about the levels that women can take things to. Because we hear about men all the time, but when women are together with women and like we're really comfortable, it can get really bad. Very concerning. So hopefully this can turn things around. Before I dive into my story, let's set it up, all right? I meet this girl through Instagram. I thought she was cute. I didn't know I liked women like that until I seen this girl. Something about her and her hard-eyesing my pictures made me be like, So I reached out. She took advantage of that. I didn't know she was taking advantage of me the entire relationship. But that's here nor there. As we progress, things start to get a little bit more serious. She's like, I'm gonna visit you in California. Mind you, she's a lot older, maybe 5, 6 years older, and she also has a child, 2-year-old child. I was like, I can be a stepmom. Don't do that to yourselves, guys. The night just went from 0 to 1,000. All I know is that I learned very quickly that if a woman can handle more than just a couple drinks and then takes it all the way to the point where you don't even recognize that person, that's when you should know to never get into something serious with someone like that. All of us should know that, right? Because especially if you see that in the beginning, I'm talking to myself right now. In the beginning, you should know, but I didn't know. Watching this woman take a skateboard full of wine shots, right? They were like a sampler of wine. It was 6 glasses. They're about halfway full. These glasses were about this big. With a pregame of like a little thing of Fireball to the club. To 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 Long Islands. And then proceeds to flirt with other people, kiss another girl in front of my face, try to not only get femmes or studs to have a threesome with us, which I talked to about her briefly with, but I did not establish anything. We did not establish anything. So she ended up kissing someone in front of me. She ended up trying to flirt with these other girls. She left her card at the bar. I'm trying to run around to manage this girl that I just really am starting to know. And me being a caring little baby gay, I'm like, oh, I got this. But at that point, after she kissed somebody and she was trying to go after some studs, I got mad. And nowadays, I wish a girl would. But back then, when I'm like 22 years old, I'm like, let's talk about it. But listen to me. And she wasn't listening. She was complaining. She got emotional. I think she brought up her ex at one point. She was obliterated. She started peeing on the side of the street while people were walking by. And I'm like embarrassed as hell because she's just really, really sloppy. We're getting in the car. I finally get her in the car. She's crying. And then I pulled over because it got that serious, and I just remember it being quiet, and she just bolts out the door. She just bolted, ran out in a parking lot, like a random parking lot, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at night. I ran after her. What are you doing? Finally get her to chill out. She looks me dead in my face and is talking about her child is like her life, but she feels like she's being taken over by the devil. The devil is inside her. Oh God. I wish I was making this story up. There was a lot that happened in these little conversations and little nuances throughout that night, and I really wish I remembered it better, but I think because it was so dramatic for me, I don't. So finally get her to chill the fuck out and get back in the car and sit down. I strap her in. She knocks out. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. We get to the house. I was pissed. I was beyond, this was it for me. I was done, and everybody's probably like, yeah, I would be too, and I was. And I remember being in the bathroom and I closed the door on her. Don't normally do that. To brush my teeth. I locked it. She said, unlock the door. And I said, no. She kept begging. She went from like sweet to like aggressive to the point where I was like, what? And I opened the door. And she comes in, she's talking about something, looks me dead in my face and goes, tell me you love me. I don't love you. I don't even know you like that. Forcing me to the point where she takes her hand and shoves me against the shower by my throat, trying to get me to tell her that I love her. I got aggressive back, not in a way that was hitting her, but a way that was getting me out of that. So I shoved her and I said, don't put your hands on me. I remember her almost breaking my equipment at the time and smashing her own stuff, literally throwing things, throwing hands at me to the point where I'm like this and I'm defending myself. I wasn't hitting her. I never have it in me to hit somebody. So that all happened, and then the night ended ended with me realizing that in 2 hours, I had to be up for an important gig that I just booked as a new job as a fitness instructor, and I had a class at like 7 in the morning. She was in the bathroom on the floor calling her child. She called her child drunk as hell. And then she called her best friend, talking shit about me. And I just remember laying on the couch, terrified for my life. There was a lot that happened. And then I'll never forget the next morning, the sadness in her eyes, the guilt was all there. And she approached me and she was like, "What happened last night?" And I said, "You don't remember anything, do you?" The heartbreak in her face, the tears that came after, talks we had, I told her everything that happened to her face. Exactly how I told you guys now. Same tone, I was aggressive, I was stern. And at that point I accepted that this was over, you gotta get your flight, you gotta get out of here. But she was convinced that she could change my mind, and she did. And that lasted for another 1.5 years of chaos. It never got easier, and it got really toxic. And even the way it ended was horrendous. It took forever in me to like get over that. There's my crazy lesbian story. But what I learned personally from that situation was that you don't know somebody before 3 months. Never ignore red flags, especially when they drink and they can't handle themselves. And if they're older and they have an established life and responsibilities, especially if someone says, "I can only drink all of it or none," all bad. And to never let myself deal with something like that just for some sex that you think is good. And it wasn't good looking back, it really wasn't. So let's get into these stories after that story. I'm so sorry, but that is my story, and it's unfortunate. There's a lot more stories I have, but that's probably the one of the most intense, because I never let myself get somewhere that intense ever again. I got close, but never that bad. A girl came over to sleep over and we ended up not fucking, but she snuck out in the middle of the night. Now I'm married to her and she just told me she dipped that night because I was snoring so loud. Yo, I love how after you were married, she was like, "Yeah, the reason that happened was because you were snoring." I met a Navy pilot on Bumble. She met me at the beach. I have a truck. She was already there and had to park and was trying to fit in a tight spot facing downward on the hill. I was so nervous. I thought I was in reverse, but I was in drive and crushed the car in front of me in front of her. Bro, not you like meeting on the app and then all of a sudden, that's really embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Oh, I wonder how you like even explain that. Did you recover? Are you guys dating? What happened? I need to know the endings of these. Fuck. My first time dating a girl, we dated for 2 months, stopped talking because I wasn't giving her the attention she needed. A week later, she's dating someone else, and 2 months later, she's married and moved in with someone else. There's so much more to this story. A week later, she's dating someone else, and 2 months later, she's married and moved in with someone else? So like, it wasn't even the same person, or it was like the same? That's what I'm saying. Lesbians are crazy. Like, it could be like, "Oh, I don't really fuck with you. I don't want to be in something." And then 2 months later, they're married. I'm so sorry. I think when people say like you're not giving them the attention they needed, it's just them saying that like the way that you give love and affection or attention is just not how I receive it. And that's a better way to put it to someone rather than saying like, "You personally are not giving me the attention I needed." Like, that's a bitchy way of saying that. I'm sorry. You guys can word things better. You can communicate better. You can make things a lot less traumatic and serious and crazy. A girl left the country without telling me. I hope this girl was like not too involved with you. You didn't even tell me how involved you were. Why would she leave like that? Like the entire country? Fuck. Was dating this person for a while. Was on a beach vacation with the fam, and my partner openly admitted in front of my family they did not believe in dinosaurs and that it was all fake. Very awkward. Wait, I'm just imagining like the conversation. So you're all like, "Yeah, you know, the dinosaurs," and she's like, "They're fake. They're like all fake." I think it's not even that awkward. Like, honestly, I would have fucked with that. I would have been like, "Is it? Really? Were you there? Like, all the bones that they find? Like, that was just fabricated? Okay." A mutual friend confessed their feelings for my BFF before I could, but my BFF was interested in the other friend that was straight as hell. A mutual friend confessed their feelings for my best friend before I could. So you're interested in your best friend, but your best friend was interested in your other friend that's straight. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is a Rubik's Cube. This is a puzzle. And like, that's how involved it really can be. The amount of times I've like connected dots that I didn't even know were there with women, I'm like, wow, your best friend clearly had like the wrong vision, because why would you go for a straight girl? We all know that's not the right move. Did you go for the mutual friend? Maybe you, the mutual friend, and your best friend can just like all come together. I was with a girl for 4 years during that time. She cheated on me with her blood cousin. and her boss, who was a grown man almost 3 times her age, then later went on to murder 2 people. Thumbs up. Oh my God. During the 4 years she cheated on you with her cousin, and then a boss that was a serial killer? Why did you choose this woman? Are you okay? How did you find this out? I have so many questions. When I was 15, I thought I was in love with a 22-year-old. That was my first mistake. Couldn't even take them to meet my family, but I was secretly dating them for a year. They ended up cheating on me with another 15-year-old, and I got so drunk that night with my bestie, she ended up dating them. I can't even dive into that anymore. That was way too much. Okay, so I was dating this guy before I was gay, and he was my mom's ex's son. We dated for a while, then broke up. Turns out we were dating my mom and his dad, who were exes, got back together, and now he's my Oh, okay. Hold on, I was dating this guy before I was gay, and he was my mom's ex's son. We dated for a while, then broke up. I can't. What? Next one. Had sex on the 3rd date. 2 days after they called me accusing me of having an STD because they got a rash on their inner thighs. I'm clean and careful, so I said they need to get checked out to make sure. Turns out I gave them such a good orgasm, it shocked their entire nervous system and gave them shingles. First of all, I've never heard that. That's a little scary. Can that happen? This one is hilarious because they're talking to me first. They're like, ain't even gonna lie, you should thank your mother for creating you because you're the most crafted human I've ever seen. Thank you. Then they go, also, the crazy ex that I had was that I found out the dude I dated almost murdered his new girlfriend after we broke up. See, this is why men aren't even in this conversation, because they can really take it a whole nother route. Like, lesbians are crazy, but they don't go and murder people. I mean, women can, and they do, but like, it's not as common as men where they just, once you break up with them, like, I'm just gonna actually go kill someone. I met a girl on a dating app that just had divorced her wife who was deployed in the military. Okay, she was trying to claim me after the first FaceTime. Red flag. Got mad after my cat for cuddling with me because she said that was her spot. This little banter, I don't know if that's hilarious. I wished her luck on the divorce, blocked her, and then deleted the app. Well, that's one way to handle things, I guess. Fuck. Was it really the cat comment? Next one. Was almost engaged to a man of 5 years when I met a girl who saw immediately he was cheating. The breakup was really hard and messy, but she stayed by my side and now we are together. Never knew I liked girls this much. Okay, so you were engaged to a man of 5 years and then you met a girl. So then he cheated on you with her and then you guys broke up. But then she stayed by your side and now you're together. That's a fucking movie. Wow. Good for her and good for you. Next one. I went on a date with a girl and ended up at her house. We tried to fuck, but I guess I wasn't really ready because the strap literally couldn't go in and it was normal size. It hurt so bad. I'm assuming normal's like 5 to 7 inches. Maybe it was like girthy, because that's usually the problem. But also the quality matters, the way they did it. Did they warm you up first? Are you not good with penetration? Do you like penetration? But don't like give up on it entirely. Just make sure that you give it multiple tries with different people and see. Because I personally, as a user, have not had a problem. If it's too big, we can go smaller. That's okay. Dated this girl from work, found out her and her ex lived together and were hooking up. Love that. A few months later, I hooked up with that ex she was living with and the girl she had a crush on. Then she had a new girl by then. The circle of life. Yo, you went savage. You were like, not only am I gonna get the one that you were with, but I'm gonna get the one that you had a crush on. That one's interesting. I really like that one. She was cheating on her wife with me. Why is there so much cheating in these? God damn. And we had sex in the bed they slept in. It was supposed to be over between them. Half a year later, I finished it and they are still together. God, I don't even have anything to say to that. That's bad. Upon meeting my first girlfriend, when we were still basically strangers, and out like the second date, we saw Aquaman and then it came out and then dinner and then after dinner and then we did it on the bathroom floor and the bathrooms were very, very clean, by the way. Okay, so you're saying that you guys fucked on the second date when you saw the movie at dinner and after dinner and then on the bathroom floor. Wow. You guys were just like, you and me, we're not gonna stop. I hope you guys are married or something now. When my girlfriend and I met, she was with someone else. She thought to break up with her, but instead we decided to try out a throuple and have a threesome. And then after a couple days, she just ended up leaving with me and moved in literally that week. This is what I'm talking about. It's funny because I've had a threesome and one of them tried to continue it, but it did not last. But this one lasted. And you moved in after a week. You just U-hauled all the way. Yeehaw. Got into an argument because my clit didn't pulse as much as she wanted it to when I came. Who argues about that? That's a red flag. Absolutely not. Actually, it only pulsed like 4 times. I needed it to go 8 beats per minute. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's hilarious. That's it. I'm over it. I can't. I have more like longer ones. I'm sorry I couldn't get to those, but that is just too much for my lesbian heart. Because deadass, I'm a little stressed out right now. That was a lot to handle. Because I thought I've done some shit. I've been through some shit, but you guys take the goddamn cake, and I'm sure there's way worse stories. So if you have some, type it down below. I'm very interested to see these. We can do so much better. And cheating isn't the answer. It's honesty, communication, and being real. If you guys made it this long into the video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my personal life and finish it. But in my personal life now, my whole life has been controlled by codependency in my dating. And my whole life has been trying to combat the dependency on everybody and anybody. And I know we don't need hyper independence in this life, but I personally really wanted to make sure that knowing that I'm the individual that I am and I've been alone for this long, and women can literally drop you like a fly, and lesbian dating is crazy, that I no longer have expectations, I no longer am codependent, and I've learned that through being more open when it comes to dating and being more open-minded and just experiencing it that way. Because I feel like a lot of us, I talked about this on TikTok, a lot of us are trying to fit in the dating standards of what straight people have created, which is you meet, you like each other, you date for a while, and then you get married and have kids and happily ever after. We don't, lesbians, it's like all over the, clearly, it's horrendous, right? So why do we like force ourselves to do these like really intense, strict guidelines that straight people, boring ass straight breeders have created? And I think instead of fighting the fact that this is our reality, which is crazy, it's nuts, there's a lot going on, there's not a lot of structure, the only thing we can control is that individually we can be better at communicating, be more honest about what we want, and we can just be more real about where we're at in our lives. Because we're a lot more complex, challenging ourselves to do those things is gonna put us on top and make our relationships even better. Not to say that they're like gonna be more strict or there's gonna be more marriages or more success rates. It's just gonna be more clear from the jump, which is more important. If you're not sure and you just go into it and kind of like bullshit it and go through it that way, you're gonna mess up people. But when you go into it and you're like, hey, I'm not sure what I want to do here, and you just state it like that and you continue like that and you keep going in a way that is just like, I don't know and I'm being as real as I can as I go, then they have no choice but to either accept that, and if they can't accept that, then they can move on. But because I've accepted that about myself and the situations I've been in and everything, I just really have like let go of expectations, let go of myself to a standard of like, I haven't had any successful dating, and like I'm done with the self-pity for myself. I'm done feeling like there's no hope for lesbians. I'm just accepting that we date differently, we are different, and our relationships are way, way, way more complex. Therefore, I don't take a lot more advice from people anymore, and I just create my own reality. Right now, my reality is pretty damn good. Stop giving people like 5,000 different chances if they show you red flags, and just live the life that you feel like you want to create. Because we're gay and we create our own rules anyway. So just do your best, and therefore you'll find the best that you can get, because you can attract that. Manifestations, affirmations, that's all the things I've been practicing too, and I want to talk about that, but you guys wanted all this crazy toxic shit in my YouTube videos instead of some wholesome shit, and I gave you the toxic shit, so next time I'm gonna give you some wholesome shit, because I love you guys. For real, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining. Love you. Peace.